So what does a 6-year-old freckled, chubby little girl, a ballerina, and the hippo from Fantasia have to do with you coming out of here today, feeling happier and lighter and carrying less weight on your shoulders? Before I tell you that, let's go back to when you were kids. And we spoke a lot about here, but I prepared it before. What did you dream when you were kids? Did you want to be a ballerina or a firefighter? Why? Did you want to be beautiful and maybe famous and do good in the world, maybe skinny? Are we done pursuing it? Are you still pursuing it until today? You see, the truth is that we're never done pursuing it. And for some of us, it's a lifelong, I wouldn't say battle, but it's a lifelong challenge. At least it was for me until I found out a couple of things that I'm going to share with you today. So my journey, but I don't like the word journey, so my trip, because journey sounds too difficult, my trip started when I was 6 years old. I was born and raised in Israel, in a very small town, to a loving family. I had no reason to believe that I wasn't perfect, because my parents thought I was perfect. So I was beautiful for them. I read books that I was 5 years old, and I was happy. Then one day my mother said, Tami, I think it's time for you to get out of your shell and do some extracurriculum activity. You need to choose between piano and ballet. You know, those days you had to choose. You couldn't just do everything. So of course I tell my mom, ballet, because this is the image that I see in my mind. When the day arrived, my mother takes me by the hand. I'm wearing a pink leotard, and we're going to the studio in the other side of town. There was this really stern-looking old Russian teacher. She's looking at me, you know, with my little belly, and she's telling me, turn around. Of course, I stumbled, and then she said to me, now plié. No way. She gave my mom a look and told her, piano. And this is what I see in my mind. Now, it might sound funny today to you, but it really wasn't. When you're 6 years old, it wasn't funny. It was very hurtful and humiliating, and I was standing there with tears going down my chubby cheeks. It was the first time in my life that I felt that I was not good enough, that maybe something was missing. Of course, my mom took me home. She told me that I was still beautiful and everything was still great, but something inside was already broken, and my dream was already shattered. So 55 years later, I wrote a book. How to be on a diet for 45 years and never be thin. And to exemplify how deep this trauma was in my life, I'll tell you a short story from the preface. When I was in the Israeli army, there was this really good-looking officer. And I would go every morning to pick up the mail from the office, and he was standing there, playing with nonchalantly with his little silver chain, and all the girls were passing by, flirting with him, and I just felt so invisible. And one day I heard somebody says, what did you say your name was? And I looked around, and there was nobody behind me, under my side, so I'm like, he's talking to me? And I said, I didn't say, but my name was Tami. And he looked at me and he said, hey, would you like to go for dinner tonight? So from all the answers, the witty replies, believe me, I had a witty tongue. From all of those, I didn't know what to say. I looked him in the eye and I said, I can't, I'm on a diet. True story. Now, ever since that entire life, I really, truly believed that what stood between me and eternal happiness was 20 pounds. Now, let's talk about those 20 pounds. It's not necessarily weight. When I say 20 pounds, I mean what is this one thing that you believe stands between you and happiness? Why do you put your life on hold? Because we all do. Is it when you find love? Are you going to be happier when you find love? Are you going to be happier when you have enough money in the bank or retire comfortably? Or maybe when you have a baby and you have a family? The question is, what's your version of my 20 pounds? Now imagine that there was a way that you could be happy today and the genius on the end of the end, and at the same time, still pursue your goal. I will show you a way to do it today. I will share with you 3 principles that have worked for me. Now, I've been studying, happiness studies and positive psychology, but these are the 3 things that worked for me. And if you like them, take them, maybe it will help you too. The first one is action. A big part of my happiness is to execute on my dreams. There's so much out there in the world that I want to do, but sometimes, this little kid behind us is telling us, you're not good enough. You can't go to a beach party, you're not thin enough. And I'm telling you, just do it. Now, it's not just do it, like be impulsive and do stupid things. Think about it, calculate the risk, but go out and do it. Because the world is waiting for you. Don't give into the paralysis of analysis. I usually don't. The second is playfulness. I think that not enough is said and written about the importance of joy and playfulness in our life. And you can really get some very serious results while having fun. Look what we're doing here, right? So for many of us, it's difficult. Many of us, it's hard for them to be playful. And when I coach, somebody once called me at night and she said, I really want to be playful, but I don't know how. It was 10 o'clock at night, and I told her, what would a playful woman do? And she said, she would jump into her car, come to your house, and have a shot of tequila. I said to her, so do it. And she did. So my advice to you, if it doesn't come natural, just fake it until you become it. And the third principle that for me was a life changer was active acceptance. Active acceptance actually means that I accept the reality, I don't fight with the situation, and at the same time, I'm still trying to fix it. So I accept the situation that I'm not a size 2, I'm never going to be. I know that I'm happy. I'm happy right now, and I'm still going on diets, that's fine. So if whatever it is, understand that you're happy right now, and I invite you, to live with your monster like I do with mine. I look her in the eye, she looks at me, and most of the time, we're happy. So don't wait on your weight, on your money, on your fame, on your love, on your children, or fill in the blank. Life is happening now, and I invite you to live them happily. And I want to thank you, Wade. And in that spirit of gratitude that we all have here, of course, I want to thank all of you for coming. I want to thank you, Tal. I want to thank HSA, everyone and each one of you. And especially I want to thank my ballet teacher, because thanks to her, I live my life my way and I play the piano. Thank you very much.